What's up, everybody? We are still alive at the Lickin', getting ready to head to the stadium. I got a fine bomb hit at 4, so make sure you tune into that SEC Network. But right now, we are streaming with all you guys for our final predictions. Some of you guys are probably getting ready to go to the stadium. Some of you guys getting ready to, I don't know, pop the
get that LaMelo's on the grill.
Yeah,
I know you. LaMelo's been crazy this week. Shout out to LaMelo's Meat Market. Great giveaway over the weekend. But we've been hanging out at the Lickin', man. I'm feeling we got that food in our stomach. I got my lamb chops. I got my collard greens. I got my yams.
Yep.
And I know you got your broccoli. You got your salmon. So we're ready to go now. I'm ready for a nap now because I got all that good food in me. Yep. But it's hard to be drowsy when we got the big one coming up here in a few hours just down the street.
They wouldn't mind that, just like a post-Yams nap and then wake up and go to the game. But we're getting ready, man. We're rocking here. I want to get our score predictions here. Just basically real quick, just a quick show, just talk about our score predictions, how we see this thing playing out. So I was at 24-20, and the way I was seeing it basically, I think both offenses have an advantage in terms of they go against a similar defense. Bryant Haynes, Corey Heatherman, best friends in each other's weddings. Like, they are tight. So they run the same defense. I mean, beyond just being friends, they're tight. They run the same defense. So both came under Cignetti and James Madison. It's not identical, but it's not going to be foreign. Let's put it that way. So both quarterbacks, Carson Beck and Fernando Mendoza, gone against a defense is pretty similar to what they're going to be seeing in this game. So I think that's going to help those quarterbacks. Ultimately, it's going to come down to just players. And I think when the defensive line advantage that Miami presents, athletically, physically, power-wise, and then the size advantage they have on the offensive line, those two physical advantages, you could scheme a million ways from Sunday. Sure, Indiana will have their guys prepared. They're very coachable kids, old, they can take in a lot of information, apply it on the field. But ultimately, size is size, physics is physics, talent is talent. I think the talent on Miami's offensive line allows Miami to have long drives, tire out an Indiana defense that is low on players. Only 13 players play for them. On the other side, I think Mendoza's going to do his thing. Those receivers are tough. First half without your Xavier Lucas is going to be difficult. But the weakness on the right side, and with Bain and Messidor, which you saw against Ohio State, I think you'll see a similar thing in this game. So I got Miami 24-20. I just think physical advantages ultimately are too much up front. So that's where I'm at, P. Where are you at?
So I have it as 27-17. That's been my prediction since a few days ago when Camden Burton asked us for our predictions so we could get it for the graphic. And I think so much has been made of the coaching adjustments from Indiana's side and what they do from a preparation standpoint. Let's give Miami's coaching staff some credit here too. They've had them ready to play in each of these playoff games. They've had them ready to play in each of these games really since the SMU game. You can still nitpick that there wasn't a full 4 quarters there, but the way they finished the Syracuse game, the way that they got out of the gate against NC State, the way that they handled the Pitt game, it might be a forgotten one in the way this season has turned out, but they were prepared and ready for that one. In all those games, you were going to get the other team's best shot. You're going to get Fran Brown being Fran Brown. You're going to get CJ Bailey hyped up home. You were going to get Pitt and Narduzzi in that atmosphere. That's always tough. And the staff had them ready. So let's give them, a little credit for where we are. They're going to have something up their sleeve as well. I have no doubt about that. So 27-17, that's what I've got.
I love it, man. I think it's crazy. I'm watching these. Like, we got Notre Dame here. Miami really. Ohio State, they won by two scores. That was a tough opponent, and they still won by 2 scores. Texas A&M, the win was insane. It just, you kind of throw that one out. That was surviving in advance. Notre Dame and Miami really should have won by more when you watch these replays. And certainly Ole Miss should have won by more. So these are not, even the games that have been close wins have not really been like, man, we survived that one by being lucky. It was Ole Miss really, we should have won that by more. That was our fault, the team's fault for not executing better. But they were just a better team, so they ultimately won the game. Notre Dame, I think they're pretty evenly matched teams, but really Miami was the one that controlled the entire game and could have gone to a 3-score advantage at different times, and they didn't make the play they needed to, but ultimately did just enough to bring the whole thing home. So, yeah, man, I am.
That's what we're looking
fired
at
up.
now. They're up 21-7 here, and Notre Dame is, which you got to give them credit. CJ Carr, I think, played a heck of a game there from the second quarter on there, and he really showed what he was about during the season. But this is a battle-tested team. Miami has now beaten a lot of really good teams. You could argue that they've faced more of a gauntlet than Oregon has.
Yeah.
Oregon, excuse me.
Indiana.
Yeah. I'm thinking about the last game they just
definitely
played.
more than Oregon, which they were tested going into their game.
But
really.
you could argue that they faced a tougher schedule than what Indiana had to face there. So
look, Indiana's beaten some top 10 teams, no question, but Miami's on a roll here as far as 3 straight top 10 teams, and it was survive and advance every single week of the ACC from the post SMU game. Any odds would have knocked them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's very weird to say here, but you can almost. And I know Mario doesn't want to hear this, and that's not the mentality that he wants them to have. But in a sense, you could take a deep breath that you're coming home. I think that's what, when everyone says they're coming home, that's what it's about. It's, hey, all of these do or die moments have led to this situation. So they played under as much pressure as you could play in to get here.
And I think just as the environment, as far as being at home, the comfort, as far as the fans, I think, look, when Miami's playing well, it's going to be loud for Miami. When Indiana's playing well, it'll be loud for Indiana. It's kind of just how these things go. But I do expect the comfort factor. They're in their own locker room. They're on their own exit. The sideline's different.
We're eating our fried broccoli and yams here. Like,
yeah, we're at home here.
The comfort zone is, and it's cool to see here, D. I mean, we were talking about it earlier, just how it's the only game. You turn on ESPN and they're live from Hard Rock. McAfee show was down here. First Take was live from the stadium. So this is the hub of the sports world right now. The Hard Rock Stadium, the Lickin' right down the street here.
I'm hearing CanesInSight Canes outside.
They're getting hyped up, man. This is the weirdest Monday ever. It's the greatest Monday ever.
For sure.
But this has been such a strange kind of weekend here, culminating in this one. But I don't mean strange in a bad way. I mean it in like, man, I can get used to this happening.
Yeah, holiday
Vegas next year. That's where we're at.
Let's do it. Holiday today. So, yeah, shout out to MLK. A lot of people have the day off from work. Harry, can we drink yet? They've been drinking here at the Lickin' since I got here, man. Tequila Sunrise, mystery drinks, man. Those colored
mystery drinks, man.
It's like Bahamas out here, man. People are drinking the tropical drinks. I guess from Miami, it's tropical enough.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys are listening, if you guys are out there at the stadium already, is it getting crazy out there already? Is the traffic wild? We're back here in the VIP room right now. So don't have a street view out there, but curious as to, if it's heating up. We'll be heading over there soon. I know you got your fine bomb hit, like you said, D, here.
4 o'clock, I think, around there. 3:55, 4 o'clock. Say your calendars there for the fine bomb show. Say 3:55. Kirk says, our boy says, Nick Saban said the Miami players will respond to being disrespected and being made a big underdog against Indiana. We've been saying this. That's what I'm saying. I've been so happy that we're the underdog. I've been pounding it. And, yeah, some of that's fan talk. Nick Saban, he knows the psychology of these games. It's real. It's not just, look, Nick Saban knows all the X's and O's. He knows all the details. Put your helmet here. You know what I mean? Put your shoulder pad here. It's not like he's stupid to the game. But even he will put a big emphasis on these intangible things because it's college football. They're human beings. That kind of stuff matters. And Miami being a big underdog against Indiana when they have the better offensive line, better defensive line, better overall size, better overall speed, and they're more violent, and they're in their home stadium. I mean, add that all up. It's a bad combo if you're Indiana, even if you believe you're the best team in the country, and they've proven that to this point. We'll find out who really is the best team here in a couple hours. But
and it's not just the technique stuff that you're talking about either. It's he knows what the athletes are supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that he's probably listening and looking around and saying, whoa,
yeah,
everyone needs to slow down a little bit. I know what Miami's got up front, and he's been vocal from the beginning of the season of what he believed they had. And he's looking at Indiana, and he's not going to be a negative against Indiana. Signetti is one of his guys. He's probably looking at them like, man, they execute at such a high level. You have to appreciate them. But he's also saying, man, my Bama teams would have whooped these guys up because they don't have the same horses we did up front.
Right.
And I'm not saying I've also been vocal, as good as this D-line is, doesn't, to me, across the board, you have the same like height and weight sort of thing that some of those Bama teams had.
Yeah.
But they play apples to apples, you know, against what you're seeing now at this level, and no one has that across the board. And the power, you just can't put it into. I don't think you can put it into words until we see it the first couple drives there.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I think no one, like you said, no one has those teams because of the rule changes, right? So that goes across the board for national champions from back in that day. I will say, even with those great teams, that Miami's defensive ends, I think, are better than any of those, not any of those Alabama teams, but they've had Will Anderson, they've had some guys, but like those teams didn't even have like two pass rushing monsters all the time. A lot of times they were more run stoppers, big linebackers, you know, they do their thing different. Miami's got those two big defensive ends that can get after it. And you saw the Houston game. I mean, Houston gave New England the game, but the only reason they had a chance is those defensive ends were just eating alive. And I don't think that Beck, I hope he's not going to have 5 turnovers or whatever Stroud had and that team had. But I think certainly defensive ends are going to play a major role. So, Pete, final prediction?
27-17. I'm sticking with the one that I've had all week, man. I think Miami, I'm not saying we jump out to like a 2-touchdown lead early, but I just think that we get on the board early, and then you limit their run game, and you make them a one-dimensional team, which they could have some success with, as much as their talent is, you know, on the outside. And Mendoza, as a Heisman Trophy winner, deserves the respect. But I like Miami's defense to come in here and show us what they've shown. Ole Miss was presented a different challenge. That, by the way, watching that game, Ole Miss played a heck of a game themselves.
Oh yeah,
like they played an A. I'm not saying A+ because I'm sure that they could say that they had flaws, but that was about as good of a game as they could have played in that one.
They played better than us.
I don't think people give. I was meant to tell you that earlier off air when I'm watching these games. Ole Miss played a heck of a game, and they had dudes. They have NFL dudes. That tight end we did not talk about enough before the game. Monster.
Number 5, Lacey,
Monster. Some of those guys in the out, Stribling, which we talked about some of them, but they had dudes, man. Indiana, these guys make some phenomenal plays, but I like our dudes, man.
Like and subscribe to the show. We got a lot of stuff planned for the post game. Hopefully there's a win. Then you'll get a lot of action there as we watch the 1983 National Championship win at home, out of the corner of our eye. Trying to do it all over again, baby. Number 6. Let's get it done. This is what we've all been dreaming about. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what we live for. This is why you tuned into this show. We're talking about who knows what. Backup guards in the portal. This is what we do it all for, why we live for this team, to watch this team enjoy the ride, you know, the camaraderie, the community. Appreciate everybody in this chat, everybody that's not in the chat but that listens every day, all the people we met here at the Lickin', we met all across the stadiums. Appreciate you guys. You guys are the reason why we can do this every day. It is because of you. We appreciate you and cannot wait to share in this moment with you guys, celebrating number 6. The Canes take care of business today. 24-20. You got 27-17?
27-17.
See you tonight. Go Canes.
Go Canes.